Alright, so I'm gonna intro you to Tarot. There are 78 cards total in the deck. This is a divination system that's meant for you to become more self-conscious of subconscious patterns and use superconsciousness in order to evolve and change and shift. There are 3 types of cards in a tarot deck. They're in a traditional deck, otherwise they're called an oracle. The major arcana, there are 22, and these correspond to not only the 12 primary zodiac signs, but the other frequencies of evolutionary shifting that have to do with your genes and your gene code and evolving the species. 3 of the cards that are in here have to do with, like this one, Hangman, the 3 primordials, and this is the primordial substance of water. Not going into that right now. And then there are the court cards. In the court cards, excuse me, I have them mixed up. In the court cards, there are 16, and there are queens. In this deck, knights or kings. And there are 4 queens, 4 kings, 4 princes, and 4 pages or princesses. This is the Thoth deck by Aleister Crowley. And I love this deck because the drawings on it are beautifully wonderful translations of the subconscious teachings. Anyway, so there's 4 of those in every single one. The knights are the kings here, and the princesses are pages in other decks. And what's really great is when you get to the pips, so I'll set these aside. When you get to the pips, you have the time-based aspects. So there's one card in the major arcana called the Wheel, or the Wheel of Fortune. And in all esoteric teachings, there's the world of form and the world of formlessness. And the world of form is represented by the frequency of Jupiter, or what is created and abundant. And so this is the Wheel of Fortune in this deck. And so this is functionally the visible material world. The pips correspond to outcomes that are time-based in the visible material world. And the pips, so that's the 10th card in the major arcana. The pips have planetary associations with astrological signs, so they're time traveling through the ever-changing phase changer of the 12 primary astrological signs. So for example, they correspond to the 4 directions of the court cards. This one is the 8 of wands, so this corresponds to the knights in this set, or pure fire. And in this deck, he lets you know what planetary position it is specifically. So in the wands, in pure fire, or the pure masculine, it is Mercury in Sagittarius. And the numbers 1 through 10 have to do with the time-based change of movement through any event. And so you can see on each of these cards, this one has the 3 of wands, which is the sun in Aries. And so each of these correspondences have a major arcana that complements it. So, without going into too much more detail, we're going to just know that functionally you have 4 suits, the air, which are the princes, so the mind, the queen, which is the body relatively, or the emotions associated with cups. Princes are associated with swords, so this is the water element. So you also have in these aspects the correspondences to the 4 directions, or the 4 primary archangels. The princesses, which are earth, more the ego, the thought form, crystallized identities. And then the knights, which are spirit. And it's these 4 that come together for the fire to create the alchemy of self, which is held as a 5-pointed star. You're at the center of this cube as you put all the walls together of this mercurial, this mind-based reality. So, 22 major arcana, 16 court cards, everything else of the 78 is time-based. That's it for now.